Hi, my name is Mudit. I'm from Symantec Endpoint Protection Technical Support Team. In this video, we will discuss about how to allow or block website using Symantec Endpoint Protection Firewall. The agenda for this video would be Introduction to Symantec Endpoint Protection Firewall, prerequisite for allowing or blocking websites, scenarios where we can use this, demo, and a reference section. Introduction to Symantec Endpoint Protection Firewall. So, Symantec Endpoint Protection Firewall is a software that provides a barrier between the computer and the outside network. It's a host-based firewall. It also prevents unauthorized users from accessing the computers and the network that connect to internet. Detects possible hacker attack, protects personal information, and eliminate unwanted sources of network traffic. It also protects against network threats and malwares such as bots. All the information that enters or leaves the client computer must pass through the client firewall, which examines the information packets. The client firewall blocks packets that do not meet the specific security criteria. This is the Symantec Endpoint Protection client user interface, and network threat protection is the firewall component in here. Prerequisites would be Symantec Endpoint Protection Client should be installed with all three features. Those will be antivirus and anti-spyware, proactive threat protection, and network threat protection. For managed Symantec Endpoint Protection Client, firewall policy should be assigned to the specific group where we want to allow or block websites in Symantec Endpoint Protection Manager. On self-managed client, we can add rules in the network threat protection components to configure the same. Scenarios where we can use this is we want to allow one website and block all others. For example, we want to allow Symantec.com and block all other websites. Second scenario would be when we want to block few websites and we want to allow all other websites. For example, we want to block the social networking sites, Facebook, LinkedIn, any other, and we want to allow all other websites. Now we'll move to the demo where we'll see how to allow or block websites. We are in Symantec Endpoint Protection Manager. To allow or block websites, we go to Policies tab and then we go to Firewall. On the right side, we have a firewall policy, the default firewall policy. Click on it and click on Edit the policy. Now we go to Rules section of it. This is the place where we'll be adding rules to allow and block websites. So first we'll create a rule to allow Symantec website. For that, I'll click on Add a blank rule. As you can see, rule number 8 has been added to the list with the name Rule 0. I'll change the name to Allow Symantec. Severity, you can configure your own severity, whatever you want. In application, we need to specify on which application this rule should apply to. As we will be using the browser in this case, so in application we need to specify the name of the browser. Either we can go with the complete path in here, or I can just specify the name of the browser. Other fields are the description. We can specify the size of this file, i.e. explore.exe, last modified, year, date, month. File fingerprint. This is one of the important field in here that we need to consider. We may have some smart users who are working on the computer who can rename iexplore.exe to anything else, and if they do that, they will be able to use the application without any problems. Website may not block on those computers. In that case, we need to find the file fingerprint of that particular application and put that file fingerprint in this file fingerprint box. And now, how to get this file fingerprint? In the references section of this video, I have included an article that can be used to generate file fingerprint, or on the client computer in Symantec Endpoint Protection folder, that will be C program file Symantec Endpoint Protection, there will be a file checksum.exe that can also be used to get the file fingerprint of a specific application. As of now, I will not be using file fingerprint. I'll click on OK now. In the same way, if you have multiple browsers on the computers, you can add others also. I'll click on OK again. Now we need to specify the host. Host will be the source and destination where this rule should be applied to. So I'll click on source and destination. In the source box, I will specify where this rule should be applied to. That can be an IP address, that can be a range of IP addresses, that can be a MAC address or a subnet mask. So as we are testing it on one computer, so I'll select IP address and I'll type the IP address. I'll click on OK here. In the destination, we need to specify what we want to allow or block. So in this case, we will select the DNS domain option and we'll specify the address that we want to allow. I'll again click on OK. And the last thing that we have to keep in mind is the action for this rule should be allow. In the same way, we will add another rule to block all other websites. I'll change the name of the rule to block websites. Severity, I'll leave it as it is. Application, again the same thing. I'll add we can fill in the other details also. I'll click on OK. Source and destination, again, source would be the computer on which we want to do this. It can be a single computer, it can be IP range. Destination would be what we want to do, DNS domain, and to block all website, I'll only use the asterisk symbol and I'll click on OK. I'll click on OK again. So for block websites, after adding the hosts, we need to make sure that the action in here should be blocked. So I'll double click on it and I have multiple options here: allow, block or ask. I'll select block, and the second thing that I need to make sure is that these rules should be on the top. So I'll move them upwards. Okay, and the block website rule should be next to allow Symantec website. I'll move this also up. I'll click on OK now. I just need to make sure that this policy is assigned to the group where I want to allow or block website. I'll right click on it, go to assign and select all the groups where I want to assign this policy. Click on yes. There we go. Once this is done, then for the client to take effect or to take this policy, either we can wait for the next heartbeat interval that is by default configured to be 5 minutes in the Symantec Endpoint Protection Manager, or we can do an update policy on the client to take this policy right there. As you can see, I have two different browsers on this computer for this testing. One is Internet Explorer and second is Mozilla Firefox. So let's try Internet Explorer and see if we can go to any website. First we'll try to go to Symantec.com. Okay, great. So we can open Symantec.com on this computer. Now I'll try to go to Google.com. Okay, so Google.com says Internet Explorer cannot display the web page. We'll try Yahoo.com also. As we're waiting for yahoo.com, let's see if we can open this website in Mozilla. I'll try to go to google.com and there it comes up. I'll try to go to yahoo.com. We have yahoo.com as well. I'll try to go to symantec.com. And we have symantec.com as well open here. Let's check the Internet Explorer. It's still trying to open yahoo.com. Okay. For yahoo.com also it says Internet Explorer cannot display the web page. Now in the same way, if I want to block these things on Firefox also and allow Symantec on Firefox also, I can go to the firewall policy, edit it, go to rules, and in the application I can add another application. I need to select the exe file in here. That'll be this file. I'll click on select. I'll click on OK. And there you go. Click on OK. And in the block websites also, I can do the same thing. Browse and select the file. I click on select. I can use file fingerprint for this also, so that if someone renames this file, it should still be blocked. I'll click on OK. I'll click on OK again, and I'll click on OK. So either I can wait for the heartbeat interval, or I can do a update policy. Okay, so let me see Firefox now, and let me try to go to symantec.com. It works. Let me try to go to google.com. Let me open another instance of Mozilla and try to go to yahoo.com. It's trying to connect, but because of the policy, because of the rule that we have created in there, it will not connect. And for google.com, we got an error that says the connection has timed out. The server google.com is taking too long to respond. So it's because of the rule, because of the policy that we have been using to block websites. I'll close it. We'll wait for yahoo.com as well. Let us see what we come up with. Again, the same thing, because it's not able to go to yahoo.com. Alright, so this is one of the scenarios in which we allowed Symantec.com and we blocked all other websites. Let's take the second scenario. Going to policies, firewall policy. So the second scenario is when we want to allow all other websites and block just a couple of them. So in that case, what we can do is we can move the block websites rule to the first number and let the allow Symantec rule be on the second. I'll be editing these rules to show you how that will work. In block website, I'll go to host and edit the destination part of it. And I'll specify dot. I'll click on OK. I'll click on OK again. We don't have to change the source because source will be the machine on which we want to block it. We just have to change the destination here. I'll click on OK here. So now we are not blocking everything. So I have specified the address that we want to block here. I'll click on OK. And when it comes to allow, I again go to destination. I can put in the asterisk here. I'll click on OK and I'll click on OK again. Now, rule number 1 says block Facebook, and the rule number 2 says allow all websites. We can change the name also. There we go. I'll click on OK. Again, the same thing. Either I can wait for the next heartbeat or I can do an update policy on the client. Let me try and open Internet Explorer. Let me try and go to google.com again. it comes up. Let me try and go to yahoo.com. It comes up. Let me try and go to facebook.com. Because of the rule, because of the policy, it says Internet Explorer cannot display the web page. We can try the same thing in Firefox also. I'll try to go to yahoo.com. It'll come up because we have allowed everything. I'll try to go to facebook.com. It times out because it's not able to go to the Facebook server. So this is about how we can allow or how we can block websites using Symantec Endpoint Protection Firewall. So I have also added some articles how to restrict user to specific website by creating firewall rule and blocking a website using Symantec Endpoint Protection. So this will be for the unmanaged or the self-managed client. Also, I have added one more article how to configure system lockdown. This can be used to get the file fingerprint for a particular application, or the other option that I have given you would be the checksum. That's in the C program file Symantec Endpoint Protection folder. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you like it.